Statistics show that 33% of the population have suffered from chronic pain at one point in their lives. But a new book, here it is right here, written by a Central Valley doctor, says they don't have to suffer. They can live pain-free, and you can too. Here today to help us diagnose the problem with chronic pain is doctor and author Matthew Norton. Dr. Norton has served the Central Valley for the last 25 years. Thank you for being on the show today. We're honored to have you here, Dr. Norton.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.
I love this. All right, so we're talking about chronic pain, surprising stories and insights for releasing pain, restoring whole body health, which is your passion.
That's
How
correct.
bad is the problem? 70 million people, you say, suffer from some sort of chronic pain.
Yeah, the statistics are anywhere from at least 50 million, maybe up to 100 million people are suffering from chronic pain. Pain that is not being resolved despite many efforts to deal with it. And the way I see this every day in my practice. For 25 years, I've had people come in where it's like the vitality of their lives is being dialed down like by a rheostat, so that they're only really a kind of a shadow of what they might be. And the problem is made worse then by the fact that instead of correcting the cause, we end up masking the problem with medication. So, and then the results of that are the life vitality is dialed down even further. So I have people that come in to see me that for years have been struggling with these problems, and they are now, I mean, I've had people to the point to where they were just enclosed in a shell and hardly able to speak on heavy narcotic medication just to try to be okay, just to try to make it through the next moment.
So what do you say then in your book is the cure? How can we help ourselves lead a healthy life? What if we really are sick and need that medication that is prescribed to us?
Well, there is a time and a place for medication. There is a time and a place for surgery and a variety of other things. But the real issue that I challenge people with is we need to address the cause of the problem. And so much of the time what we end up doing is the symptom is where all the focus is. We're focused on the pain. We're focused upon a fever. We're focused upon the outer clue that there's a problem, and then we seek to manage and mask that, as opposed to saying, what is the fundamental underlying problem, and is there a solution to this? So that's the first step, is the perspective, is being able to say, okay, let's focus on solution. And in my work, what I found in 25 years of doing this work is that, it's probably been at least 10,000 people that we've been able to turn their lives around and provide answers in this 25 years by finding a spinal problem that has been created by car accidents much of the time, by other injuries, lifting injuries that may have been painful at the time, may have resolved, or the body adapted really to that problem. And it wasn't until sometime later, maybe a lesser injury or some overwhelming stress in the person's life now has brought that pain on, and now it becomes something they cannot get a handle on.
Oh, something maybe we didn't realize happened.
Sometimes very subtle things, and people are confused about that because they thought they were fine, and the truth is they weren't fine. So we are able to evaluate the spinal situation, find out how it's negatively impacting the nervous system. Whenever there's pain, there is a nervous system disturbance.
Okay.
And so we actually use computer diagnostics in our practice to be able to measure the nervous system problem, develop a game plan to provide gentle, conservative adjustments, and then we go back and we re-measure with the computer system to show the nervous system is functioning better. So we're not just treating, we're not focusing on treating a pain, even though, yes, where does it hurt is the question we're asking. The solution is found by finding what is causing the hurt underneath and addressing that.
So does that mean that maybe stress is playing a role?
Stress is a critical role. Stress is probably the single biggest ongoing problem that is creating pain in people's lives, acting upon the weak link in the chain from where there'd been a previous injury. So we end up with people addicted now to drugs like OxyContin. We have young people now getting a hold of those drugs simply to feel better about their lives. And the problem is not just physical pain. The problem then becomes, how do we address mental, emotional pain as well? We medicate that away a good part of the time.
Talk to me a little bit about your theory when you say in the book that it's all in your head.
Well, it's not so much that it's all in your head, it's all in your nervous system, which kind of starts up here in your head and happens to run down through that spine. So we have the central lifeline of the body. The director and coordinator of the entire body is running through that spinal framework, sending messages out that allow the entire body to work. I have people all the time come in that say, when I mention the nervous system, they say, I never really heard about that.
Yeah.
And that's
that
unfortunate because, you know,
plays a major role.
We know a lot about our teeth and dental care, but we assume that the spine can absorb any number of traumas and always, you know, come back fine.
It's really fascinating information that you're relaying to everybody. Your book, Where Does It Hurt? I know it's brand new. It hasn't even really hit bookshelves yet. It will soon.
Very soon.
Where can people get it if they'd like to buy it?
People can go to my book website, which is wheredoesithurtbook.com,
Okay, it's right there on your screen.
They can call my office, which is 490-9550, and it will be probably within the next few weeks. We'll have it available through the stores.
That's fantastic. It looks wonderful and full of surprising information and great stories about before and after stories, hero stories, and miracle stories.
Yeah, there really are miracle stories.
Yeah.
There's at least 3 dozen stories in there of people whose lives were really just kind of dead in the water, and we've been able to give them life again, and that's why this is my passion.
And you're here from Fresno, so we're fortunate to have you here. Thank you so much, Dr. Norton. It was a pleasure talking to you.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
All right, sure thing.